So imagine you're getting ready to leave the house and you look outside, right? The sky is dark, the wind is starting to pick up. There's a 90% chance of thunderstorms. And someone says, hey, don't worry about it. It'll probably be fine. So you grab your umbrella, you check the forecast again, you look at the radar, because hope, it doesn't mean pretending that the storm isn't there, love. Hope means being willing to look at the weather honestly and then decide what in the heck you're gonna do with what you see. And I think relationships, well, I think they work the same way. One of the things that I want people to understand about healthy hope is this. Hope needs evidence, especially when we're talking about trust, right? Because someone's saying, hey, I'm going to do better. Well, that is a promise, right? And it may be a really sincere promise. It might even come from a genuine place, but a promise isn't the same thing as change, right? Change is what actually happens next, right? Do their actions start matching their words? Do they respond differently when conflict happens? Do they take responsibility without needing you to drag it the hell out of them? Do they respect the boundary that they said they understood, right? Do they repair after they cause harm? And maybe most importantly, does that new behavior happen again and again and again, right? Because love, trust repair, it usually doesn't happen because somebody gives us the perfect explanation for what happened. It happens because we have enough new experiences, right? Enough that our nervous system can start updating the old information. Okay, maybe this time is different, right? Not because somebody told you that it would be, but because you actually have experienced something different over and over and over again. That's evidence, right? And evidence is, it's what allows hope to become grounded instead of just becoming another thing that we have to convince ourselves to believe. Now, I think this gets really complicated when we love somebody, right? Because when we love somebody, we want to believe them. We want the conversation to mean something. We want the apology to mean something. We want the promise to mean something, right? And sometimes we can get so attached to the possibility of what a relationship could become that we stop paying attention to what the relationship is actually showing us. And I don't say that to make anybody cynical over there. It's quite the opposite. I actually think healthy hope is much more compassionate than blind hope. Because healthy hope says, I believe change is possible, and I'm going to let your behavior show me whether change is happening. You don't have to decide that someone is incapable of changing. You also don't have to pretend that they've changed before they actually have. You can leave the door open without standing in the doorway during the storm. And sometimes that's the work. Learning that discernment doesn't mean that you've given up on love. That's not what that means. It means that you're paying attention. So today, if you find yourself asking, should I still have hope? Just pause for a moment. Instead of asking yourself, do I believe they'll change? Ask yourself, what evidence am I actually seeing? What has changed? What has stayed the same? What happens consistently? What happens only after a crisis? What happens when nobody is watching? And then ask yourself, if I stop listening to the promises for just a moment, what would the pattern tell me? You don't have to make a decision right there, love. You're basically just checking the forecast, right? You're gathering information. You're letting reality speak. Hope isn't pretending that the storm isn't there. Hope is checking the forecast honestly and still believing there might be a way forward, right? Sometimes the forecast changes. Sometimes the storm passes, right? And sometimes you learn that the weather pattern is probably going to keep repeating and you need to make a different plan. But either way, you deserve to have, enough information to make that decision from reality, not just from what you desperately wish would happen. So love, don't be afraid to check the forecast. Don't be afraid. Pay attention to the pattern. Let action speak. And remember, Hope grows where actions repeat. May you have the day that you deserve, and love, you deserve nothing but the best. I'll see you soon.